Hey everyone, it's Natalie, also known as, nope, I did it wrong. Hey everyone, it's Natalie from This and Nat, or all of This and Nat over on Instagram. I am standing here, day 2 of moving into our apartment. We got everything in yesterday and now it's finally time to unpack. And I'm starting with the kitchen because all of these boxes are kitchen boxes. Now it can be really overwhelming when you have a brand new kitchen, but it's also really exciting because you have a blank space. So I have some tips for you today as I unpack and get everything organized for kind of how to set up your new kitchen without like wasting a lot of time rearranging stuff. I do have a pretty small kitchen here, so it's gonna make it a little bit easier. But one of those tips includes these. So I'm gonna show you how to use them and let's just get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is just try to clear some space so that I can reach the counters and the cabinets and everything to get them all cleaned and prepped before I start putting stuff away.
You say all the right things when I'm hurting. You always pick me up when I am down. It's like you have a spark that leaves me burning. Yeah, you just have your ways to get me high. You make all my dreams come true. It feels right.
So this already looks 1,000 times better now that I've cleared everything behind me, and I just made like a pile of kitchen stuff. So the first thing that I'm gonna do actually in the kitchen is wipe everything down. I made like a little kit of cleaning supplies, toilet paper, hand soap, just kind of like our open first box for when we got here, so we had something to use like for the first few minutes we were here. So I'm gonna wipe everything down. I'm gonna wipe the counters down, I'm gonna wipe the inside of the cabinets down, and then I'm gonna start laying down all of the drawer liners that I got. I got one like giant under the sink mat. That's super, super helpful. And everything else is this like ribbed line stuff that we put in our old house, and it's super great. So I'm gonna get all of that taken care of, clean it first so that it can be drying, put all the liners down, and then it's finally time to start unpacking. Now that I have it all in one place, it should be relatively quick, but you know how those things go. They always take like 3 times as long as you think.
Just being around you. We could break up and then make up. I always come back to you. You move me in a way never thought anyone could. You get me high. You're my drug when I am feeling blue. Yeah, it's all you.
Things were honestly pretty clean. It just felt good to like get the dust off of everything before I put the stuff down. So I have the under the sink mat, which is so great because it's a huge thing that you can just put under your sink, or if you have large cabinets, this thing is awesome. You can cut it down. We used it in our other kitchen. And then this stuff is called Life Liner, and it is really cool because again, you can cut it down, but it has these like ridges on it. So you put the ridge side up. And so if you keep your like glasses turned upside down, there's a little bit of space, a little bit of air can get through. These were so great. They honestly still looked awesome when we left our old house, which we lived in for just over 2 years. So I wanted to get this to put in to all of our cabinets. Now, our kitchen's a little funky because we have just one drawer, one in the whole kitchen, and we have some open spaces too. So after I get all this in, I'm gonna map out a plan with my little sticky notes. So I'm eager to get this in. Giving things a chance to dry for a second, get this in, and then we're gonna make a plan.
To line or not to line? That is the question. Do you line your kitchen, drawers, and cabinets? I like having them lined so that spills are easy to clean and water damage is less likely. And all in all, the process took me about 45 minutes, but it will last for years. Well worth it.
Sometimes the truth is hard to see, but never, never, ever, ever seemed to be over. I saw, so I'm happy I got freed. Lucky, lucky, lucky me. Lucky, lucky, lucky me. I won, got it done. Lucky,
lot of drawers or cabinets that are the same size, definitely cut one and then lay them out on the counter to cut the other ones. That makes it a lot easier. But here, I think most things are gonna be different. So it might take me a second to get everything cut, but it is 100% worth it to have things lined. It keeps your drawers so much cleaner. And this is super easy because you can just like take it out and like dump it in the sink, wipe it off, and I don't know, it made our drawers stay really, really clean. So 100% worth it, especially in an apartment where, you know, you don't know who's lived here before you.
So I'm happy I got freed.
Another thing that I really like about this is it's easy to cut like straight down because you can just follow the ribbed lines. But when I cut across, I just put the end that I cut like in the back because it's not as even, and then I just don't sweat it too much.
Lucky, 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 I won't let the door hit when I leave. I guess that I was born beneath a very lucky star, and in a week or two I won't remember who you are. Man down, he ran out of luck and now it's my time.
We've been really taking our time, or should I say it's been taking us a long time to get settled in our new place. Downsizing is tricky, and figuring out how to organize everything just takes time. I can't wait to show you the videos I have coming up. I've got more organization coming with a bathroom video, and then we'll do an updated furnished apartment tour. And soon I'll be able to share even more cleaning motivation and routines. Let me know if there's anything specific you'd like to see in my upcoming videos.
Now that everything is lined, including that crazy corner space over there, it's time for the fun part, which is to actually plan everything. So what's hard about when you're moving into a place, your stuff is everywhere. You don't know what you're gonna unpack next, so it's better to make a plan before you start unpacking. So that's why I have some Post-it notes. You don't need any particular color. One color is fine. I'm gonna take these sticky notes, write on them with Sharpie, all of the like main things that are in the kitchen, you know, utensils, pots and pans, stuff like that. And then I'm gonna look around and see where things must go and which cabinets are like multi-use, like could be anything. So let's turn around and talk about that first before I get started. Also, I meant to say that it took like 1.5 rolls of these things for this kitchen. I think it's a decent sized kitchen, so that may help you when you get to your kitchen. All right, so let's talk about what we have to use first. We only have one drawer. So I'm thinking this one drawer has got to be where the utensils go, because unless we get some kind of different container, like one of those picnic ones, which we could do, this is probably where utensils are gonna have to go. So that's gonna be a pretty easy one to label. Under the sink, we have a ton of space. We're gonna get some shelving in there or use what we have because this is a space to maximize. Also, like above us, that's pretty good space. And then things up there are gonna be things we don't get to as often because you need a step ladder. But let's talk about this corner here. I'm gonna shut this. Isn't that cool? Okay, so this corner here, that's another space I kind of want to deal with first because it's so unusual. It's open shelving. We want something to look nice in there. I did line it because I know we're going to put things here, but I kind of left a little more space than I normally would. And once things are on it, you really won't notice it as much. If we do, I can take that off. But I'm thinking for here, plates, because it's going to be easy to get to. They're going to look nice. We have white plates. So I think that might be a good idea for here. I don't know about the top, maybe wine glasses, because it's a lot harder to get to. And then the last space that's like a need to decide on, because it's weird, is this glass shelf right here. It needs to be something uniform, something that looks nice. So I was thinking, or I wasn't thinking this, Kent suggested this, to put our spices here, because we have a ton of spices. We no longer have a pantry, so that would be a good spot to put them. So I'm gonna get my sticky notes here, map things out, and then start unpacking some boxes.
This method of planning is so helpful because it allows you to think about function first. You can ask yourself, where does it make sense to keep my plates? What is the most convenient spot to store my cups? It's nice to have things planned out too if someone is coming to help you unpack. Now this is just a starting point, the first draft if you will. You can always rearrange things from here.
now that I have kind of a loose skeleton outline, it's just time to start going box by box. I can arrange things as I go, and fingers crossed that everything we need actually fits in here. I'm going for the biggest box first. Okay, so the first box I opened is pantry stuff, and I don't really know what we're gonna do yet for a pantry. I think we're gonna use a closet, so just kidding, I'm not gonna start with the first box. I'm gonna move it out of the way and start looking for more like kitchen stuff.
Feeling like there's no one other than you who can make me lose my mind. You start me up like no one has ever could. You feel my
first thing in the kitchen.
Spending every minute together. I found it quite hard.
First box is empty. Moving on to some more.
If you follow me on Instagram, you totally know that I did not finish unpacking and organizing the kitchen all in one day. In fact, it took me several weeks to get it to the final state that you'll see at the end of this video. So if you're moving or just overhauling a room, don't get stressed about things all getting done at once or getting them perfect the first time. The thing about organization is that you are able to adjust as your needs change.
When your body is closing on mine, you got me feeling like there's no one other than you who can make me lose my mind. You start me up like no one has ever could. You feel my fire. What are the odds we end up loving it? Spending every minute together. I found it quite hard.
Okay, I found some of the plates and bowls, so let's see how this actually looks with them up there.
Feel my fire, fire, fire. You feel my fire, fire, fire.
Hello?
You feel my
Hi, Verizon in the lobby?
Yes. Thank you so much. All right, they're sending them.
You feel my fire. Let's keep this fire alive. Let's keep this fire alive. You start me up like no one.
Now it's time to try the spices on this glass shelf. The shelf came with the apartment, which is super cool, but I was tempted to leave it empty just to not clutter up the space. I thought I would at least try Kent's suggestion of putting the spices up there. It took a few tries to get it right, but I really love the end result. You'll see me change things up a little later on in the video.
Let's keep this fire alive. Fire, fire. Fire, fire.
The single drawer we have is really narrow, which meant our old silverware organizer wouldn't fit by a long shot. I decided to use what I had first, but we ended up getting something even better that I'll share later on.
Okay, things have been slow moving. I've just been going through boxes and slowly putting them away, which I will show you probably tomorrow. But I decided I better clean the fridge while it's totally empty. So I just sprayed it all down with Branch Basics, and then I'm gonna wipe it and leave it open for a second while there's nothing in here. It's a weird fridge, but that will have to come at a later date when I do some refrigerator organization, because it's a lot smaller than our other one. And we're gonna be shopping differently here for groceries and stuff too. So that'll all come later on, but let's get this thing cleaned out. into the much quieter reprieve of my bedroom to show you this Mama's Choice juicer. I'm really excited. I've been wanting to try a juicer for a while. I'm really starting to get on this like health journey after so much stress for so many months moving in and getting organized. I'm ready to like get back on track. So enter this juicer. I'm so excited to show it to you. So what I really like about this juicer in particular is that it's actually pretty compact. Having a small kitchen here in New York City, I need something that's not going to take up a ton of space. And this is with it all built out, all the attachments on it. I'm going to show you how I use it. But when it's not all attached, it's really nice. Like this is nice and small, and it's pretty lightweight. You don't get that from just every juicer. So I love this thing. I love trying it out. You're gonna try it out with me. We're gonna make some juice and see how it tastes. It's gonna be super, super good. And it's not just juice that you can make with this machine. You can also do pizza toppings, bruschetta, and crackers? I don't even know. It's super, super cool. All right, we are going to try this spinach apple juice. It looks pretty easy, honestly. All you need is some spinach, 2 apples. I chose Granny Smith apples, and a lemon. So let's get this thing made.
This juicer can squeeze the maximum of your favorite ingredients and help you get up to 90% of your fruits into the glass and only 10% as pulp, not waste. The juicer machine operates at a low speed silent motor, less than 60 decibels. And all smaller removable parts of the juicer can be stored inside the pulp container, perfect for small spaces. It's also equipped with a special cleaning brush to make the juicing cleaner, easier, and more convenient. Make delicious and healthy juices from soft fruits with the soft mode and hard vegetables with the hard mode.
This is fascinating. Like absolutely amazing. I want to juice everything now. Oh my gosh, did you see the apple and the spinach? The lemon I just squeezed, but what the heck? Fresh juice. I am so excited to try this. Look how green it is. All from the apple and the spinach. By the way, I put a whole lemon in here. Only supposed to do a half, so it might be a little lemony, but I also didn't squeeze that hard. So here we go. Cheers, moment of truth. Oh my gosh, that's so good. That's so good. Like, you know how when you're a kid growing up and you have juice and it's like water and sugar? This tastes like fruit, obviously, but it's so good. Oh my gosh. I think I just need to add some ice to make it cold, but it's super delicious. Not even kidding. You have to try this out. Oh, we should juice so many things. I think this is gonna have to replace candy for me in my like post breakfast. I need something sweet. This will hit. It's so delicious, seriously. Make sure to use my link down below to head to Amazon and purchase your Mama's Choice Slow Juicer. I've even got a discount code for you down in the description box to get 10% off. I'll put it on the screen here too. So here we go. Let's replace candy with juice. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be healthier. It has been a few days since I last worked on the kitchen on camera. I've been doing a few things here and there. Honestly, it's kind of hard because there's so much in the way that has to be done. So I've done a few things without you, but let's get back into it. I really want to get this all finished up here today if I can. So we have gone to the Container Store and I've ordered some things on Amazon. So now I should be able to kind of put away those things that I didn't really know what I was gonna do. So one of those things is this really cool cutlery thing. It's from Joseph & Joseph, and I'm going to do my best to link all the things that we get that are new down below. But if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. It's like a really narrow cutlery thing, and then you just put your stuff in like this. And so I'm going to show you that here in just a second. The other thing that I got, I'm really excited about, are these metal drawers. I actually got 3 of these from Amazon that I'm going to put underneath the sink. If I can get that done, I can get so much of the stuff that's out like put away. That's going to help a ton. And then this is not really like things that I put to organize. Well, they kind of are. One thing I got is a silicone strainer, because here in New York we do not have a garbage disposal. And by the way, you're gonna hear Kent, but he's building something in the hallway behind us. But we don't have a garbage disposal, so I got this thing because it's silicone, it's really easy to like wash out. Plus, I don't like the one I have in the sink currently because it's too easy for it to fall into the like position where the sink will fill with water, and that drives me nuts. So we're gonna be using that one. And then I got a few other things here. Okay, so I think I learned that iDesign, which is InterDesign, and ImDesign are like the same things, or they're at least like different lines, because these all came together and they're like exactly the same thing. So this is a longer silicone mat that I'm going to use for the dish soap and sponges, and then this is a smaller one that I thought I might use for the sponges, but I think I might actually use in our bathroom instead. But these are really cool as well. And then I got like a larger one that's a mat for drying, so it's really cool. Anyway, there's an explanation of some of the new things that I've purchased in the last few days. I think let's start working on the utensils here first, our only drawer, and get that all done.
Kent was actually the one who found this compact organizer, and we went all the way to the Container Store to get it right away. It has indentions on the side to indicate the spoons, forks, knives, and it works so well in this small space. The brand Joseph & Joseph makes a whole line of organizers for compact spaces. I ended up putting the smaller utensils on the left and the larger ones on the right, but I'll rearrange things a bit more as I unpack more utensils later on. Now let's build out the metal drawers for under the sink. These are super easy to put together. They come in 4 parts, the frame, the legs, plus the basket, and go together in seconds. I love that they stack too, and they are relatively sturdy. Perfect for taking advantage of the vertical space here under the sink. I had hoped that I could stack 3 of these underneath the sink, but they didn't quite fit by a couple of inches. Now, it took a few tries to figure out how to arrange everything under here. Kent really helped me think outside the box. And in the end, we got the perfect arrangement that is both functional and organized. One side holds all of our kitchen towels and napkins, and the other side became the cleaning side with cleaning cloths, scrubbies, and supplies. You'll see this get arranged again before the end as well. I brought nearly all of the organizers that I invested in from our house in Texas to see if we would need them in our new apartment. That meant that I had quite the personal store to shop from. This divided organizer was in our bathroom in Texas, but now it works perfectly under the kitchen sink.
I'm really glad Kent is here because he thinks of things like I can't. Originally, I wanted to stack 3 of these on top of each other, and when that wasn't going to work, he like separated them and put the trash can in the middle. And then when I couldn't figure out how to get the trash can back in the middle, he switched like the 2 from this side to over here, and that allowed us to put it past the brackets that you can't really see. Yeah, right here. And now it all fits. So I'm really glad that I have Kent around. Now everything's perfect and I can move on with the rest of the kitchen.
Why you wanna run away? Why you gotta be
I desperately needed to set up a coffee/tea station above my coffee maker. I don't like to have too many things out on the counter, so I prefer to have mine in a cabinet. Turntables really make the best use of cabinet spaces, and I've got several different sizes in my kitchen. They're either the plastic ones from Copco or the acrylic ones from iDesign, and they both work great. I'll have them linked in the description box for you.
without you? No, I don't wanna step into the light. If I don't get you, shawty, you bring out the sweetness of my life. Oh yeah, come on and give me that, give me that, give me that good, good loving. Come on.
All right, it is another new day. Crazy. It's actually been 3 weeks since I first started organizing this kitchen, and as you can see, there's still a lot of stuff behind me. It's a Saturday morning. I was just sitting in bed, knitting, relaxing, drinking my coffee. I'm still drinking my coffee. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of it. Let's get up and get this kitchen finished today. I have some new products that I just got. I'm going to show you, and then we're going to put them into place, get these things cleared off. I've been working on like our pantry as well. We're gonna have a pantry tour video at some point. But I think these other things that I've gotten, these organization things, are going to help me get everything else done. And I had one other like brilliant aha moment last night that I'm fingers crossed will work out. So let's do all that and get this kitchen complete. First product that I got are these divided, I think they're called pantry bins. They are from the Container Store, iDesign, and they're like the Home Edits line, but they're super awesome. They're gonna fit perfectly in those cabinets right there, and I've got 4 of them because I've got 4 cabinets tall. So for all of my utensils that I used to keep in drawers, remember there's only 1 drawer in this kitchen. I had like 8 in my other kitchen. I'm gonna use these to put utensils in, like big stuff like this. You can take out the little part in the middle. I have these linked for you guys because these are like a new product available right now. You can take it out or put it in. So I'm just gonna have to play with that, and eventually I will also get some labels so I can have like baking stuff together. I like to have like a sharp things with all like scissors, like garlic press, stuff like that, and that will all go together. So that is the first thing that I got that's gonna help me get this stuff off the counter. Second thing, I'm very, very excited to do this. I think I asked y'all, does this look crazy or what? I got some messages on Instagram like where this is just in the background and people love the spices, but for me it's a little overwhelming that they go all the way across this glass shelf here. So Kent had the idea of double layering them and having like risers for them. So I found these little risers at the Container Store. They are 2 inches wide. I had to get a bunch of them in order to, like, I'm just gonna have them like lined up side by side. I'll show you in a second. I had to get a bunch of them. I think it's gonna be really helpful though to kind of make them take up half the width, but then I can still kind of see what's behind. I'll kind of have to still lift them. I tested it out, but I think that will be really great. So I'm gonna be doing that here in just a second too. This cabinet has been a problem. I'm trying to find a place where I can put the baking sheets, muffin tin that's not in the oven. I don't want to have to keep stuff stored in the oven. And actually, that's the last little, what's it called, post-it note that's been on there. So these don't quite fit. I don't know if you can tell, but the drawer doesn't close. So I didn't really know what I was gonna do. And then all of a sudden, last night, I thought, if this little thing will fit on like the upper shelf back here, hold on. So if this organizer can actually fit up there, maybe I can turn each of these things the other way. They'll stick out over this, but it shouldn't really matter. So I really, really hope that works because it will make everything much more accessible. This doesn't belong in here. So let's try that here real quick and we'll move on to the other things. cinnamon. It worked. Oh my gosh. That has been puzzling me for like 2 weeks. Where was I going to put that stuff? I am so glad it worked. It's easy to get to. I might use the shelf now at the bottom to put the pots and pans. Maybe? That's a maybe. I might just stack them because it might be easier. I need to put some stuff like that we don't use as often behind there, like maybe some water bottles and stuff. But it was also working just having them stacked like this. So I'm gonna play with that. We might keep the shelf there. We might not. This is very crooked. Look at these counters behind me, y'all. Okay, this is a work in progress, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the spices. I'm gonna pull them all off first so that I can wipe the counter, and then I've got 8 of these little things, so I'm gonna like start them in the center going out, and then I'll know that it's taking up, like I wanna center it over the sink, and then I'm gonna move the coffee over there, keep the oils here, I think, and eventually I wanna get some like cuter, something a little cuter for like our salt and pepper so that it can be up there and kind of like look like part of everything. But for today, I might just take off the pepper label so that I just have 2 clear glass containers, because that would match what I've got going on here. I'm super excited to do this, so I'm gonna start by taking everything down.
I like to keep my spices in alphabetical order to find things easily. I learned that from my mom, who also has a lot of spices. I've heard other people might keep their favorites out in the front and their less used spices in the back. How do you like to keep your spices?
I had a feeling you'd come back and save me from all those lonely nights and heartbreaks. And I feel misplaced without you. Why don't we go back to, why don't we go back to, never wanted to end it like we did. I guess shit happens for a reason, but it's like something feels different from back then. Why don't we go back to, why don't we go back to, honestly.
What do you think? Does it make sense to center them over the sink, or should I shift them over a little bit? I don't know, I need to step back and look. All right, stepping back, you have to kind of imagine all the spices here. I've put the oil and the salt over there, although honestly, I don't know if I want to keep the salt and pepper up there. Maybe it's just because they're like, they've got labels on them right now. Let's just take those down. Maybe it's because there's one thing, 1 unit and 1 unit with the coffee, but yeah, I think, gosh, I don't know, centered or shift? Huh. I guess we're just gonna have to try it.
Honestly, I'm open wide. I don't feel like waking up without you by my side. I still see your silhouette. Why don't we go back to, why don't we go back to your bedroom?
Before I tell you, how many spices do you think we have? Sometimes I get comments that we have too many spices, but I promise you, we actually use them a lot. So here we go. Get a number in your head. We have 34 spices. Were you right? Let me know. Yes, I quite like this a lot better than the spices just going all the way across. You may notice it looks pretty empty now on the coffee side, but I'm not gonna like rush to fill that with anything. I feel like it does need maybe something for balance, but I'm not trying to like put something there just for the sake of putting something there. Eventually we might find something that makes sense or is a necessity to put there, but I kind of like these off to the side and not centered right over the sink. Let me know what you guys think about it. So you might have seen me readjust everything because those little shelves only fit, they're like little risers, they only fit 2 spices. So I ended up putting 16 in the back and 18 in the front. I just didn't want to have like them teetering in between 2. Yes, it would have been so much nicer if they had nice long ones so that I didn't have to do like just 2 each one, but they didn't. So this is what we ended up with, but I really like it. I think it looks really, really good. I have a solution for some of the things that I was like, okay, I used to keep these in a drawer, and again, we have 1 drawer, so that's not gonna work. All of our oven mitts, and also I just got a smaller drying mat. This one's like a silicone one. So I'm thinking that I will use some little hooks. That's what I've got here. You might hear Kent behind camera. He's also organizing today. We're just in like a cleaning and organizing mood, so we're rolling with it. But I have some of these little hooks from 3M. They're like the tiniest, not the tiniest ones they have, but they're pretty small and they're great. So I think I'm gonna put them on the inside of the cabinets here. Just checking to make sure. Yeah, that should definitely work. To hold on to stuff, and then I can just stick them inside the cabinet on either side and kind of use up that space that otherwise would just be not used at all.
As a renter now, I'm cautious about what we put into our space so that we don't do any unnecessary damage. I've been using these 3M hooks everywhere around the apartment. They're honestly so great. We even got one for the bathroom that is specifically for tile and damp spaces, and it looks like a metal hook. For these under the cabinet, I just took care that the doors would still be able to close without hitting anything, and that these items wouldn't touch the trash can because I thought that would be kind of gross.
Be alright, never cut it right, but somehow you make me change, like I'm better off with you. Like I'm better off with you.
Time to do the last little bit of the kitchen. It's gonna be these things. So I've got these 4 shelves. I don't even have anything up there. Oh, yes, I do. No, I don't. I don't even have anything up there yet. Obviously, it's really high up there. Just for scale, floor, countertop. Those 2 are easy to reach. Those 2 are harder to reach, but I got 4 of these bins. So I've been kind of using this stuff. So I've had it in these are from IKEA. They're super great. I had them in my pantry a long time ago before we moved to our house, and I've used them for years and years and years, and they're awesome. These are just a little bit bigger, and they're like perfect for the space right here. They fit like exactly how I need them to, and they're divided, and like I said, I'll eventually get labels. So I'm just gonna transfer some of this stuff. I'll keep the 2 like categories that we use the most down here, and then the other 2 up there. And it's not really a big deal for us to get a ladder out anymore because all of our basic pots and pans are up there anyway. So I'm gonna get all those transferred. I have all this stuff that needs a home, and it's gonna make a big difference. This was part of what was sitting over here earlier today.
I like to group my utensils by category of what they do and then arrange them by how much I use each category. I keep all my most used spoons and spatulas close by, measuring items together, sharp things like scissors and graters with friends, and so on. Now the full kitchen tour is coming up here, so you'll get to see how things look all finished. Let's do a final kitchen tour. I'm going to take you around and show you everything here really quickly so you can see how it all turned out. So let's start over here. We've got the dishwasher and like kind of this coffee corner right here. And then in this cabinet is what I chose to make sort of my coffee and tea like little area. So I've got a turntable here of my coffee, my teapot, my like collagen and all of that stuff, and I've got my tea, and then going up above that I've got the straws that I use for my coffee, and I have all of my like Tupperware that I use for food storage, and it continues up there like All of our larger ones are up higher because we don't use them as often as the smaller ones. So they're up high. I have to get on a ladder to get up there and get everything in the top cabinets. Over here, this is probably my favorite like feature of our kitchen is this door. It's really cool. It's like a garage door almost. This lifts up and this is where we have all of our cups. We've got all different kinds of cups that we use on the daily or when we have people over, plus some of our measuring cups, smaller bowls, water bottles, and things like that. And then up above that, we have cookware that again, we get to not every day, but like once a week or so. We've got like casserole dishes, larger bowls, cast iron skillet, stuff like that, all going up here because those cabinets are nice and large. And then if you go around to the corner here, I was worried about this corner. I didn't really know what to put there. I wanted things that are going to be uniform. So we ended up with all of our plates and bowls here in the bottom. I love it. It's so convenient to be able to just grab exactly what we need because everything has its own stack instead of at our old house where we had things stacked on top of each other. And then up higher, I've got all of my baking stuff. Not baking a ton, but it's not too hard to get a ladder and get that stuff down. Plus, it looks really nice up there. And I'm so glad I got to keep the containers that I already had. Now up here above the microwave, I've got more cooking things. I try to kind of stick things that are less used up higher, but I mean, you can see I can't even reach this without a ladder, but we've got like our larger pots and pans and then some baking things, colanders, stuff like that up high. And then these two cabinets are where I ended up putting those like dividers from the Home Edit. So eventually I'd like to get some labels on each of these, but they each hold different utensils. So I've got like the utensils that I use most often at the bottom, really easy to just pull out and reach. I've got sharp things, baking things, and then those that I use less often because I'll have to grab a ladder and get those down. And then coming down here underneath our microwave, we've got our stove and our teeny tiny oven. There are a couple of baking sheets and different things stored in there because there's just not another place to put them. But most of it I actually ended up putting over here. So I've got like our smaller baking sheets plus our smaller pots. I've got some water bottles back there. And then I use the organizer to organize like the muffin tins, the cutting boards, and things like that. In our single drawer, we have our silverware in here. This organizer is amazing. I ended up adding chopsticks and our chopstick, like the things that rest on them, pair of scissors because I need that all the time, and then our servingware here in the back. And then the last part of our kitchen is our refrigerator. It's a smaller refrigerator and I might do organization on that one later in a different video. Up high though, we have this big cubby hole. So we've got our Instant Pot up there, cookbooks, and then some other things stored there in the back. Okay, my husband Ken is helping me film this and he's like, you forgot the biggest cabinet that you have underneath the sink. Okay, this one was a challenge to organize and I really have to thank Kent because he helped me think outside of the box here. Underneath the kitchen sink, I've got so much stuff. You know how big your cabinet is. You need to take advantage of that vertical space. And we did that with a bunch of different drawers. So on one side here, I've got my cleaning cloths, and then I have a turntable of all my things that I use to clean with, so I can just rotate it around. We ended up putting some hooks on the underside of the sink. There's an empty hook here because this drying mat actually goes there, but we're using it right now. That's been really nice. And then I've got the trash can here in the middle, but if you move it out, I actually have some things stored behind it. All the cleaning cloths, the dirty ones, go back there until it's full, and I take it out and wash it. And then here on this side, I've got our napkins, our kitchen towels, and then I have this kind of like roller drawer where I have trash bags and dishwasher pods. So being able to take advantage of all the space under there has been super helpful. Thank you so much for watching this kitchen organization video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe because I have more small space organization coming very, very soon. See you in the next one. Bye.